Abbie.
Gabby and Abbie.
I love this. I only have interviews with people that rhyme with my name.
Love it. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. Okay, so first of all, can you introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you do? And what is your involvement in A Child of Science?
My name's Gabby, and I'm one half of a company called Impossible Producing, and we are theatre producers, and we make things possible for people and projects. And I run it with Charlie Bunker, who's brilliant. And we set up the company to sort of do impossible things and make things possible. And my husband wrote A Child of Science because I told him to, basically. We went through 4 rounds of IVF to have our children, multiple miscarriages, an ectopic pregnancy, and it was a journey that I wasn't expecting that I had to go down, which is weird really, because my sister had IVF and also his brother had IVF. So in our family, all of the children are born of this science. And when I started to learn more about the history of how IVF was created, this extraordinary story came out, and I was like, and my husband's a playwright, and I was like, you have to write this play.
Yeah.
So, did I answer your question?
You did, perfectly. Yeah, you did, for sure. Okay, and so without giving away too much about the play, because I'm looking forward to seeing it in person tomorrow, what can we expect from it? What is it about? What can we expect?
Okay, so it's about the 3 pioneers that created this science, and the play follows them over 20 years of them trying to work out how to create life, basically, outside of the body. And it's an amazing story of twists and turns, and so many people were against it because they thought that they were playing God, and so it's very much about that kind of piece of history that's never been told on stage or screen ever before, which is kind of staggering, because it's a science that has completely changed the world. It's changed who can have babies, it's changed how people have babies. 12 million IVF babies have been born, I think, something like that, worldwide. It's changed women's gynecology completely. So it's about that, but it's equally about the human story of infertility, and that universal story that infertility hits so many people, regardless of who you are. And it's about I could cry. It's about the pain, pain of it, the joy, the hope, and it's about these 282 women who basically sacrificed themselves, like gave their bodies to the trials in order to create the science that led to people like me being able to have children. Yeah. And it's a real love letter to them. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to I've not seen anything like this before. I don't really know much about IVF myself, so I'm really, really looking forward to seeing it.
And why you're connected to infertility and fertility and women's health in a way, aren't you?
Yeah, so I have PCOS.
What is PCOS?
PCOS, so it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's quite a complicated disease because there are a lot of different symptoms. It's linked with other things like diabetes and stuff. There's not really a cure. There's loads of different ways that you can manage the symptoms. Some work for some women, some won't work for other women. So it is quite a complicated thing to live with, but the way it's manifested in me and the way that I knew I had it was so I started my periods when I was 13, but from then they had always been very irregular. At first I thought it was just because, I've just started my periods, so my body's just not regulated yet, but then it got to a point where I was having like 1 period in a year, which obviously is not normal. Going back and forth to the doctors, they always just recommended that I went on the pill, even though at this point I think I might have even been younger than 16. So they were prescribing me the pill so that I was having a regular bleed, and they were saying, go on the pill because then your body will get used to bleeding every month, and then that might help kickstart your actual periods, which I have issues with. But yeah, and then I stopped the pill after however long, I can't really remember. I'm actually trying to get my medical records so that I know the exact timeline of the things that I was told. And then I eventually managed to get a blood test and a ultrasound scan on my ovaries, and the results of that confirmed that I do have PCOS. Then again, they said, go on the pill because you need to be having regular bleeds and to lose weight. I've never been overweight, but they just said, go on the pill, lose weight, and that's how you manage PCOS, basically. So they gave me this A4 sheet of paper with, you have PCOS, it can increase your chances of cervical cancer, it can make you infertile, it can be this, like loads of scary things on this sheet of paper. I just remember getting diagnosed with this sheet of paper and going back out to my car and just crying because I was like, what is this? Oh my God. Yeah, and I felt like I didn't get any help. So I guess the reason I'm here today is because I now use my platform to share my story, share the things that I've learned about my body which have helped me manage my PCOS symptoms, and it's all been through like natural stuff, so it will be diet and lifestyle changes that I've made. So I just share things that I do on my social media, basically. Some of it, like, it's been a journey because I'll try some things, and obviously with periods and stuff you have to wait a certain amount of time to see if this thing that you changed worked or not. So there's things that I will be sharing last year that might be different to things that I'm sharing this year. I just think it's just going to be a constant journey.
Totally.
So yeah, that's why I'm here, because I post about women's health stuff. I have followers who also have PCOS or other infertility issues, endometriosis, a lot of other things. So
And
I
this
think
is
we're just trying to share.
It's so important because we just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
We really, I think we're getting better, but we really don't. That's why this piece of work is so important to me. It's about the conversations that will come out of pieces of art, platforms like you that connect people and let people feel less alone, because it's so isolating when you're given a diagnosis like you were, particularly at such a young age.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
And also to get you on the pill, like, has anyone had a conversation with you about actually if you wanted to get pregnant, like
exactly.
So all of these things we're navigating as women, right, and as men, like everyone needs to understand about these things better, and taking control and understanding your body is so important, and I think it's something that we just don't really do.
I think that's really the message that I'm trying to push out, is to take control of your own body. And like, obviously love the NHS. I think I'm very grateful that we have it, and respect doctors and healthcare professionals very highly. But at the same time, when you get a diagnosis, I am all for researching as much as possible and not just taking anything as face value, even if it is from the professionals. Like, you need to take control of your own body. And unfortunately, with things that come, like with things to do with women's health, I do feel like there's a lack of knowledge, information that you can get from healthcare professionals. So you do have to take it into your own hands.
And you Google, right?
Yeah,
and then
you Google, you search, and then it opens up like a whole
other world.
Yeah.
A whole other world.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. But what you just mentioned does link into one of the questions that I've had. Obviously, theatre, plays, shows is a form of entertainment, but a show like this obviously has a strong element of education and knowledge as well. So why do you think it is important to put on a show that does have such a strong educational element, and what are your hopes for that?
I think the thing with I'm a geek, theatre geek, right? I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I know lots of people don't, and that's fine. Terrible play is the worst possible 2 hours of your life. But when theatre works, it's because it makes you feel. And I think if you feel something, it can change things.
Yeah.
So, and it opens up conversations. So this play for me is absolutely about so many things. So it is about telling a story which has never been told before, which is about a British triumph, like what an incredible piece of history that we just don't know about. And particularly, it's about 3 pioneers. So Bob Edwards, Patrick Steptoe, and crucially Jean Purdy, who was actually not celebrated for the science. Even though Bob was like championing, saying we need to put her name on the plaque, it was ignored until 2015. So this science was created in 1978, and in 2015 she was finally added to the plaque that she was part of this trio. So it's very much about also celebrating the women who are often not celebrated, and these 282 women who basically helped them create this science, and what an amazing thing that they did, stepping into completely the unknown at that time. In the 60s and 70s, of like putting your body into a scientific trial, you know, like who knows what would have happened. And I think the power of art is that you can sit for two and a bit hours and watch and learn so much. I mean, it is not a documentary, so Gareth the writer is very much like, this is based on a true story, which is what makes it really powerful. But he's also imagined a lot of particularly the women. So we follow one of the women, many of the women who undergo the trials, and that story is completely imagined, but it's very much based on the things that are still happening today with people that are facing infertility. It's still the same loss, it's still the same fear, it's still the same hope that we have right now. Like the science is not absolute, and also the science is expensive. So not everyone can access it. There's a postcode lottery, so in terms of the NHS, you know, there's only certain places where you can get more than a certain amount of rounds, so you know, the ethics around it. Anyway. So it's a journey, right? You come and watch it, and I looked like, apparently when I watched it on Saturday night, I looked like I'd been on a ride because it's hugely emotional. It's
just an
fun. It's like So it's really, I think people think of science and they go, ooh, oh gosh, that's so. But actually, it's a very human story, and it's about triumph, and it's about determination, and it's about hope, and it's about not giving up.
So I guess we need to bring our tissues.
Oh my god. I'm like, literally, I mean, I'm 47, so I cry at anything. I've just been having a hot sweat, haven't I? But it's emotional. It's emotional. And I think I defy anyone not to be moved by it in some way.
So you mentioned you yourself have been through IVF. You now have twin daughters.
I do, yes.
Very cute.
Who think this play is basically for them.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's understandable.
And, you know, they met Tom Felton. That's like a dream come true. They're completely obsessed with Sonoya Mizuno, who is extraordinary in the play.
Love that. And did you say it was your sister?
So my sister had, she became infertile through a procedure that went wrong. And so for totally different reasons, she had to go through IVF. She has 2 children, and my husband's brother also went through IVF. I think that's okay to say. No, he's cleared it. So there would be no grandchildren without this science. We were on our last round. We couldn't afford any more. I don't think emotionally I could have gone through any more. So we were just at the point that we gave it one last go, and we were very lucky to have twins.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So with the people close to you that have gone through the same thing, I can imagine you must have seen very different, even though you went through the same thing, but I can imagine each experience was very different for each of you. Like you're saying, like different causes of infertility. I'm sure you all had different journeys. Is there anything you can share that gives insight on like how the process is a very individual process and how it does differ between different people?
I think just when we were going through it emotionally, it's pretty hard, you know? And everyone will deal with that differently as well. I mean, physically it's quite hard too. You're injecting yourself with lots of drugs, and the way that you respond to those drugs will differ, whoever you are. I dragged Gareth to a support group because I was really struggling to cope with it all, and I was just seeing all my friends get pregnant everywhere, you know, every 5 minutes, Facebook's like, and I was really struggling. I just didn't know how to get through it. So we went to a support group, and it was an amazing thing. Like, talking about stuff is the most incredible thing. But, you know, I'm sat in a room full of people who are so different. Same-sex couples, single people of all ages, all backgrounds, you know, and every single journey was different, but equally the one thing we had in common was that we just really wanted to have a family. And that was at the heart of it. And some people have gone on to have children, and some people haven't, and some people had it through donor or through surrogacy or, you know, adoption or whatever. So we all have different journeys.
Crazy how it can be so different. Okay, I know IVF is a serious thing and not to make light of it or anything, but I thought we would do something fun.
Okay.
Play a game
Okay.
of myth versus fact.
Oh, sugar.
IVF
Okay.
edition.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so if you could let us know whether these statements are a myth or a fact.
Okay. Disclaimer, I'm a patient.
Okay.
Passionate about this subject, not
Yeah.
an expert.
Okay. And anything you know about this, share.
Okay.
Okay, so is it a myth or a fact that with IVF you can select the gender of the baby that you have?
Okay, all right. I have to say I did Google this.
Okay. Get the facts in.
Because I had to check. I was like, I think you can. And you can.
Okay.
So there is a way that they can detect what with the embryos, which is a boy or a girl. What I don't know is I don't think you can choose. You can say, hello, I'd like to have a boy, please.
Yes.
They can detect the gender, and often they will do that if there are certain genetic diseases or anything like that actually affect one gender more than another, so that they're able to then put back the embryos that are of a gender that wouldn't have that
Okay.
sort of inherited disease through a gender
Right, okay.
specific thing.
So you can't come in and say, I want a boy.
I don't think so, but that's what I was trying to Google this morning. I
Okay.
don't think you can. I don't think you can.
Okay.
And the ethics around that, right? Are tricky.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into that for sure.
That wasn't a yes or no answer. Sorry.
We're somewhere in the middle of that one. Undecided. Okay, myth or fact, IVF will always result in multiple births.
No.
No.
That's
a myth.
That's a myth.
Okay.
I had twins. They put 2 embryos back inside me, and they both.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is that do they always put 2 in, or is it sometimes 1? Like
it's usually 1.
usually 1.
And I think back when I had my babies, they were still doing 2 for certain people who'd been through multiple rounds, but mainly they put 1 back in.
Okay.
Because actually a multiple birth, it has a much higher risk than a single birth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then with them putting 2 for you, was that to increase the chances of success?
Yeah, it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matthew, the director of the play,
Yeah.
he has triplets
No way.
through IVF.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he had 2 put back in and then 1 split. So
Wow. Oh my god, triplets.
yeah.
No sleep for about 5 years.
Literally. Yeah.
Okay, can certain foods affect the chances of success with IVF?
Oh God, this is a really difficult one. This is so difficult because I think, again, I'm a patient, not an expert.
Yeah.
I would say that it is very hard. You can't say, oh, if you eat pineapple core, you're definitely going to become pregnant.
Yeah.
But equally, when I was going through treatment, it made sense to me that you eat well, right?
Mhm.
Because why not?
Mm-hmm.
So many people say it really helps if you eat a really balanced diet. You stop drinking alcohol, don't
Yeah.
smoke, all of those things, because your body is just more ready.
Yeah.
And also, if you then go on to pregnancy, you're in a really good place.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for men, particularly around sperm, that drinking really lowers the quality, and there's certain things that really help. So zinc really helps with sperm.
Right, okay.
So I think it's difficult to say that it's absolutely, it will be the thing that helps you, but why not, right?
Yeah.
Like, just give yourself every chance.
For sure.
But I did do some crazy things. Pineapple core, particularly. Yeah, a lot of pineapple.
Pineapple core,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, a lot of pineapples.
And linseed tea I had once. Oh, it was
Oh, how was
disgusting.
that?
It was gross.
Yeah, it doesn't sound appetizing. Okay, so with IVF, myth or fact, you can only use your own eggs.
No, you can use donor eggs.
Okay.
Yeah. There's all sorts of things they can do, yeah.
So I guess that would be for women who, for whatever reason, cannot produce her own eggs, or her own eggs aren't of a high quality enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we would use.
So you do the same process. So many incredible women do donate their own eggs
Mm-hmm.
to people that can't,
Right.
and then they will be fertilised with the sperm of
Amazing.
either a donor or of a partner, and then put
Yeah.
back in. Yeah.
Amazing. And in the play, are details like this touched on? Like, will we learn a lot about the process of IVF when we watch the play?
I think you will learn. You will definitely learn stuff. Definitely learn stuff. You will learn more about the history of how this science came to be, and I think you will learn about the impact that infertility has on people.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more about the stories rather than like the nitty gritty of the.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of doctors coming, so you know, like the science is within there, but a lot of the words go over my head.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to see it. Thank you so much.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I'm looking forward to you seeing it too.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.